What's up, virgins? I am Evasive, and today we are going to learn about abstinence. It's that time of year again. The Northern Hemisphere is huddled inside, Valentine's Day is right around the corner, and your local gas station is all out of Rhino Zen Blackfire Platinum 35,000 pills. It's the most sexually charged month of the year, so I thought, who better to focus on this month than people who are experts at not having sex? So for this video, I brought 4 asexuals to my house, gave them some asexual pizza, and recorded their reactions while I made them watch the biggest smash hit comedy of 2005, The 40-Year-Old Virgin. Was it funny? Was it offensive? Did Steve Carell invent asexuality? All of these questions may or may not be answered right after I talk about today's sponsor, Scentbird. Hey girls and gays, do you like smelling good? I know I do. Because I live in New York City, I'm constantly taking public transit and walking through crowded areas, so if I'm going out, I always make sure to spray a little of whatever scent I'm feeling that day. Personally, I love anything with lavender or citrus notes, but I love experimenting with new scents too. And let's be honest, choosing the right fragrance is hard. There's so many brands and options to choose from, and so many variables and details to consider. I don't have time for all that, and you probably don't either. But lucky for us, Scentbird has us covered. Scentbird is a fragrance subscription that lets you choose a new designer fragrance to try every month for just $17. They've got over 600 cologne and perfume scents to choose from, and they carry everything from designer labels like Gucci and Prada to smaller brands like Skylar and Heretic. Every month you can pick which fragrance you want to try and skip a month anytime at no charge. Each month you'll get a 30-day supply so you can try the scent and see if getting a full bottle is worth it to you. This month, Scentbird sent me 3 perfumes to try from Sana Jardine, Sisley, and Joe Loves. I've never tried these brands before, and I really liked all of them, but my favorite was Ishala Nui by Sisley. I love the combo of magnolia and rose scents in this one. It's just so elegant. I'll definitely be ordering more. If you want to try any of these fragrances yourself, I put links in the description below. Plus, as a special bonus to my viewers, you can use my code EVASIVE and get 55% off your first month of Scentbird. That's just a little over $7 for a 30-day supply of a premium fragrance. Again, that's promo code EVASIVE to get 55% off your first month of Scentbird, available in the US and Canada. Thanks to Scentbird for sponsoring. Now let's get into the video. Judd Apatow. Today, he's known as one of the most prolific comedy producers of all time. But in the early 2000s, he was just a humble writer reeling from the premature cancellation of his big passion project, Freaks and Geeks. After a couple more failures in the TV sphere, Apatow decided to shift his career toward film, which was a move that paid off almost immediately with the release of Anchorman in 2004. While producing Anchorman, Apatow met fresh new comedy actor Steve Carell, who at this point was only really known for his role as a correspondent on The Daily Show. Seeing star potential in him, Apatow reached out to Carell and said, "Hey, do you have any ideas for a new comedy movie?" Carell quickly got back to him with an idea he had, a comedy sketch he came up with when he was a performer with Second City Comedy Troupe in Chicago in the early 90s. The sketch, as Carell described it, was about a guy playing poker with his friends, and they were all telling really dirty sex stories, and slowly you realize that he's a virgin and his stories make no sense. Using that one scene as a starting point, the two quickly wrote an entire movie script together and started making plans to film it in 2005. Rather than make the movie nothing but cheap sex jokes though, they decided to make their main character as realistic as possible. And their main method of research was reading blog posts from adult virgins and basing the character off those people. Notice I say virgin here, not asexual. As you might expect, the word asexual is never mentioned in the behind-the-scenes content or in any articles about the film. But that's not to say they weren't aware of it. Though it wasn't a common term yet, the word asexual as we know it today started being used in the 90s. And by 2004, there were several websites and blogs about asexuality, which you can still find on the Wayback Machine. So knowing they did their research online, I find it pretty hard to believe they missed the concept of asexuals when researching. I'm guessing Apatow and Carell probably did learn about asexuals when writing the script, but chose not to mention them because they didn't want to confuse the audience with a little-known term. With the script done cooking, Apatow secured a $26 million budget from Universal, rounded up all of his friends, and started filming in January of 2005. Rather than hire a director, Apatow decided to try directing the film himself for the first time ever, and to document the occasion, he started recording a video diary. And this video diary, you guys, Oh my god.
I woke up at 4:15 in the morning with explosive diarrhea. I've f***ed every one of these dogs. I'm not proud to be making a movie that I can't tell my 7-year-old what it's about. I'm miserable 80% of the day. And I have moments of sunshine, but way less than I thought. I might be a dick. Jokes are not worth dying for. And so now we're shooting this big dance number. It seems to be going well. I really don't know how to do it. I don't know what I'm doing. My wife played the drunk that Steve tries to have sex with, so I had the pleasure of asking my wife to kiss him with more tongue. I just got tired the last couple of days. I've been hitting the Red Bull hard, 3 to 5 a day. I go home, I just shake all night long. I let the Excedrin PM have a fight with Red Bull for my soul. Never has such a beautiful set been built for dick jokes. I will think about killing myself for several days.
By the way, just 5 days into shooting the film, Universal shut down production and almost canceled the movie because, well...
We'd had a break in shooting. He came in and said, Universal wants to talk to us. They're shutting us down. And so we had to go in and they said, we've been watching footage and you look like a serial killer.
So, filming concluded on April 1st, and Apatow rushed to edit the film in time for an August release date. This included holding 7 different test screenings to find the right balance between raunchy comedy and wholesome romance. Sadly though, this did mean cutting a scene where Steve Carell listens to his elderly neighbors have sex while reading the game guide for Wario World.
Oh, yes!
Ahead is a huge ice-covered hill. Make sure you're on.
Yes, I like it, I like it, I like it!
Then August rolled around, and against all odds, the film made $177 million off its $26 million budget. Looking at the cast today, that's not much of a shock, but in 2005, this was weird. Catherine Keener was an Oscar nominee, but she was barely in the promotion for the film at all. Seth Rogen had never had a major role in a film before. Jane Lynch hadn't done Glee yet. Paul Rudd was mostly only known for a supporting role in Clueless. And if you didn't watch The Daily Show or Anchorman, you would have no idea who Steve Carell was. This was a romantic comedy with a cast of mostly C and D-list celebrities opening at #1 in the box office and making almost 7 times its production budget. How was this even possible? It's simple, clever marketing, and a funny title. Like really, just look at some of this trailer.
Over the years,
Did you glue this? I wish I had some scissors.
Ow!
Andy Stitzer has lost a lot of girlfriends.
I'm sorry.
As one writer for men's magazine GQ put it, The 40-Year-Old Virgin is a romantic comedy, though it wasn't sold that way. It's obvious that the marketing team behind the movie thought more men would show up if they used gags about foot play and anal sex as a kind of Trojan horse. Catherine Keener barely appears in the trailer for The 40-Year-Old Virgin, but her character's genuinely sweet romance with Andy is the backbone of the movie, a believable adult romance amid all the raunch, and the rare Hollywood rom-com in which a single mother is a love interest and in which her children are ultimately treated as a net positive for her suitor. Beyond the trailer, let's be real. This movie did well because it was called The 40-Year-Old Virgin. That title alone is funny. This movie probably wouldn't have been nearly as successful if it was called Dinner for Schmucks or something, I don't know. Anyway, after the surprise success of the film, Steve Carell became a household name almost overnight. About a month after the film was released, The Office Season 2 began airing on NBC with an extra 3 million new viewers tuning in, and the rest is history. As for Apatow, he instantly became a hot commodity in Hollywood, and he used his newfound influence to produce 5 more hit comedies over the next 3 years. So that's the story of The 40-Year-Old Virgin. Personally, I think it's a pretty alright movie. Solid 3.5 out of 5. But it doesn't matter what I think. What matters is what these people think. These people. Asexuals. By the way, before any of you ask why there's no asexual men in this video, honestly, I just couldn't find any in time to record. But they do exist, okay? If you're an asexual man, please drop a comment below so people know you exist. Thanks. Now let's get into the movie.
I know you love me. I wanna word you up into my life.
Is this just Times New Roman? Yes.
Honestly, I like the minimalism.
Back in the simple days where they were like, we can do Times New Roman and just the opening credit.
The default font. We don't need to patent a font for this.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's time to meet our titular virgin, Andy Spitzer. He lives in Los Angeles, works at a circuit city, rides a bicycle, and loves sci-fi and classic horror movies. A lot. Like a lot. Because he doesn't have sex.
When you gonna get a car?
Wait, why don't you get a car?
I can't afford it.
Hey, enjoy your orange.
Okay, take care.
I'm always telling people to enjoy their orange.
That guy needs to get laid.
Clue, okay. The room wasn't clue enough. That is a clue that he's not getting laid.
Right.
God, I should stop being mean.
I think that's why we're here.
Yeah, I think they want us to make fun of this virgin.
So Andy goes to work, and now we're introduced to his coworkers. Starting with Seth Rogen's character Cal, who right out the gate, very calmly starts talking about watching a woman get f***ed by a horse.
We thought it'd be fun, to go to this show. Everyone's, you gotta check out one of these shows. And, it's a woman fucking a horse. You think a woman fucking a horse, and you get there, and it's not as cool as it sounds like it would be, man. It is.
I mean, this is an open mic, basically. You go there, and all the other comics are talking about, like, a woman fucking a horse.
It sounds about right.
Relatable.
God, Friday, when I went home, I really wanted an egg salad sandwich, and I was just obsessing about it, and I was like, man, I'm gonna make one of those. So Saturday I went out and I got, like, a dozen eggs, and I boiled them all, and then I just...
Do you guys ever worry that this is how you talk to your coworkers?
Yeah, all the time. Like a robotic type of generic.
I mean, I do talk about obsession with food. Like, even when I sat on the couch, I was talking about pastry, shell, and frangipan, so...
But never egg salad sandwich.
I was gonna say, I have a loose PB&J in my bag right now. Is that...
Yeah, that's weird.
And now we meet the rest of the cast. There's Romany Malco as Jay, a guy who has a lot of sex. Paul Rudd as David, a lovesick romantic. Jane Lynch as Paula, the store manager. And comedian Jerry Bednob as Mooj, who is mostly only in the movie to say raunchy lines with a thick accent.
Cock and ass and butthole pleasures.
Please stop.
And pussy juicy cocktail.
Mooj, just please stop.
The shit-stained balls.
Anyway, Andy's coworkers don't really like him and think he's weird, but they take pity on him and invite him to drink and play poker with them after work, which they of course do inside the store so Judd Apatow could save money on location rentals. And I know you're all thinking, Ava, please tell me they were actually drinking when they filmed this scene. Well, you're in luck.
I'm a little drunk. I started drinking scotch because I gave everyone scotch, and then I started drinking the scotch. Maybe not the best thing to do with key scenes still left to do in the next hour or two, but I just think I saw a piece of spit fly out of my mouth.
And now the inciting incident. The guys talk about sex, and it's quite clear Andy has never had it before.
I was sleeping with a woman recently. Tits were unbelievable.
Oh, man, I love titties, so...
No.
She just loved to get down with sex all the time. She was like...
The pancakes.
She's back.
I'm gonna eat the pancakes.
And I'd be nailing her.
Oh, shit.
She'd be like, oh, you're nailing me. Cool.
This was me my entire freshman year of college. That was me like just trying to get by in conversations. Like all my friends would be like, oh, he's so hot. And I'd be like, that ass.
Detail, though. Does she have, like, them little pink teeny nipples?
Oh, yeah.
Or like the long National Geographic nipples?
Long.
You have, like, the bumpy Braille nipples, the Stevie Wonder?
Have you guys seen the TikTok trend where like guys can't tell you what eye color their girlfriends have? I'm not buying this. What color nipples does she have? Like,
no, I do.
Not
To be fair, they're
observant.
more into nipples than they are into eyes. For sure. But when asexuals get into relationships, their partners know what the fuck color their eyes are.
Oh, that's true. That we're just making eye contact all day long.
Yes, that's what we're into. That's our nipples.
So now the guys at work know Andy is a virgin, and they decide to make it their mission to get him some sex, which they announce in the most public way possible, of course.
Andy, it's going down, partner. We gonna be,
No, good. Thank you.
Andy, don't let him bother you. It's okay not to have sex.
Woo! South Asian dude. Just one old South Asian dude in a circuit city. Who are they kidding?
All of this, of course, makes Andy very uncomfortable, and he runs away from work. So David sits him down for a heart-to-heart and invites him to go out with the guys. And then we get a montage of Andy trying to avoid looking at sexy bus ads and dogs humping in the park.
I have a memory of watching this movie with my father when I was like 15, 10-ish, and he laughed so hard during this sequence, he cried.
Because he's looking like standards are a little low.
And now it's time for a flashback to the closest Andy ever got to having sex.
Sucking on your toe.
No.
Not foot stuff.
No.
No.
Do you think Steve Carell did his own foot modeling, or do you think that's a stand-in's foot?
That is 100%
I'm
stand-in.
eating. Just take it away. Oh,
I'm sorry. Oh, no. I'm sorry.
You are terrible at this!
You started with the feet.
Right. You're kind of terrible at this too, honey.
And then Andy's coworkers take him out for a bar scene, and according to Judd, this room you're looking at right now smelled absolutely nasty.
Today we were doing a big dance club scene with 100 smelly, stinky people pretending to be the dancers. The combination of perfume and ass, and anyone would stink. 12 hours pretending to dance. But it started making me sick, literally sick. I thought I was gonna vomit.
Anyway, the guys find a bachelorette party, and Andy starts talking to a very 2005 looking woman named Nikki, played by Judd Apatow's wife, Leslie Mann.
So I had the pleasure of asking my wife to kiss him with more tongue. So there are nice moments on the set. Seeing your wife kiss another man, that was nice. And he also, I had to tell him to put his hand on her breast. These are all things I wouldn't have gotten to do unless I made a movie.
Even though Andy is sober, he somehow ignores all the drinks Nikki has been throwing back and gets in a car with her. And then after a drunk driving montage set to Get Your Freak On by Missy Elliott, Nikki throws up a tiny amount of strawberry yogurt on him.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
But that's all? That's all she puked?
I know, that was such a it's like when you do like a baby bunny sneeze and you're like, shut up. Like that was a baby bunny puke.
And it's pink.
It was just like
It's a Barbie puke.
Also, what's really fun about this scene is apparently it was filmed very late at night, and if you've never worked on a film set before, let me tell you, late night shoots can be a very special time. I'll let 2005 Judd explain.
Today, may I say tonight, since it's 3:52 a.m. right now, we are shooting stunts, a lot of downtime, so we just sit around trashing our friends, both celebrities and non-celebrities. That's how we kill the time. How are you doing, Seth?
Doing awesome. This is where I thrive at 4 a.m., I
We
think.
got video games, pornography.
Video games and pornography, and the later it gets, the more real porn seems.
Yeah.
At around 6 a.m., you could swear that's your dick. It's a tip.
Now cut to the next day where we find Andy and friends breaking light bulbs on the pavement and talking about,
You are putting the pussy up on this pedestal. You're just building the pussy up, man.
What are you even talking about?
Oh my god, they used to call it a pussy even then?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm putting the pussy up on a pedestal.
It's like a theater kid warm up. Pussy on a pedestal.
I feel like that's on a rap song or something.
Also, fun fact, before the movie came out, the guy who played Jay actually begged Judd to cut him out of the movie because his mom was an ordained minister and he was afraid she would see it. So, just keep that in mind every time he's on screen.
How do you think a lion knows to tackle a gazelle? It's a code written in his DNA. Okay. And believe it or not, in every man there's a code written that says, tackle drunk bitches. No!
And now it's time for Andy to meet his love interest, Trish, played by Mrs. Crude herself, Catherine Keener. She's a single mom with 3 kids, and she owns a store across the street called I Sell Your Stuff on eBay. And after a hot conversation about VCRs being dying technology, Trish gives Andy her phone number. To celebrate this milestone, the guys take Andy out for a drink and tell him he needs to get some sex practice in before he tries going out with her. And in case you're wondering why we're 30 minutes into a movie with Seth Rogen and nobody has smoked any weed yet, well, wonder no more.
Apple bong. Oh, relatable as fuck.
Right.
Yeah. Been there. Anyone want? No, I'm kidding.
After getting baked like an apple pie, the boys teach Andy how to pee on walls and lock him in a room with porn on the TV. And then the next day they take him out for the most notorious scene in the movie, the waxing scene. And I say notorious because not only was this scene not faked, but the woman playing the waxer did not know how to wax.
That actress, is it true she lied in the audition?
Yeah, she said that she knew how to wax. So I'm about to do the hair waxing segment. How bad could it be, right?
Oh, you fucker! Oh, I'm sorry.
That's how they prepared me to, be put in the arranged marriage thing. When they took my pictures, they got me waxed.
Really?
Yes.
Really? Was it painful like that?
I didn't have that much chest hair. But like, you know, every Indian girl at puberty starts with a mustache.
When you wax around the nipples, you're supposed to put a little Vaseline. The wax is so viscous that it will rip your nipple off. She did not put the Vaseline on my nipple.
Sweet God.
And she reached down, and somebody had the forethought to say, hold on, hold on, hold on. It's the only time we cut.
Sweetie pie hole! Como se llama? No, Kelly Clarkson!
Ah, Kelly Clarkson. Everywhere I go. Literally, the one thing people know me from is, Kelly Clarkson.
We knew Carell was going to be waxed, and he wouldn't be able to think clearly, probably, so we wanted to just be able to feed him things to say. I honestly think I was sitting on my couch writing the jokes, and you came on television, and I saw it.
And that was just a dumb idea. It was my idea too, so I only leave myself to blame.
So after the Steve Carell torture porn scene, the next day, Cal gives Andy some absolutely horrible dating advice.
Women do not care about what you have to say at all, and all they want to do is talk about themselves. So questions, be cool, and be kind of a dick.
It's funny how they're all giving him bad advice.
Yeah.
It's like, why do you think he's a virgin? It's because of y'all.
If he was friends with a single woman, this would not be.
Right.
Exactly.
This would have been a 10-minute movie.
Then after a brief little scene where Andy tries hitting on Elizabeth Banks, he returns home and tries calling Trish. But then he gets cold feet and pretends to be a telemarketer, so Trish will hang up on him.
Who is this?
This is James.
James. Ooh, I know you.
He really organizes his tchotchkes. I respect it.
It has to do with him being old. Like, he's still a virgin, so he has tchotchkes. But the fact that he organized it like that.
So when I'm 40, my tchotchkes will be
Virgins
more
love
organized.
tchotchkes.
Cool.
Then David shows up to give Andy a big box of porn tapes, including his most prized possession.
Boner Jams 03. It's a mixtape I made. All these great scenes that I was really into in the summer of 2003.
So with his new porn stash, Andy lights some candles, turns his family photos around, and puts on a porn tape called Space Nuts.
Okay, I have watched some naughty anime and I've turned over
Your
my
pictures?
stuffed animals.
A little token of my appreciation.
I mean, yeah, that's how I watch naughty anime. Okay, it's fine.
Then the movie cuts to the next day at work, but originally there was actually a deleted full frontal nudity scene here where Andy fantasizes about America's favorite porn star, Stormy Daniels. And I know you're all thinking, Ava, please tell me someone recorded an awkward interview with Seth Rogen and Stormy Daniels. Well, you're in luck.
I like your tattoos.
Thanks.
I have a tattoo.
You do?
What do you think?
Oh, wow. That I look good there.
I think it looks like you. What do you think?
I think it does. It does. I don't look quite as shocked.
After that anti-masturbation scene, the guys take Andy out to a speed dating event where we get to see Mindy Kaling in her first ever film role, as well as some very brief bisexual representation.
It's been a long time since I've been with a man. Looking to get back up on that pogo stick, you know what I'm saying?
And with the speed dating scene over, the guys return to work. And I know you're all thinking, Ava, please tell me we get to see Paul Rudd's ass. Well, you're in luck. Or not. Actually, I don't think I'm allowed to show this on YouTube.
Hey, Andy, take a look at your pal.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's performing a public colonoscopy.
Just the moral of this movie should be that all of these people should be fired.
Yes.
And now it's time for everyone's favorite mid-2000s sex comedy trope. That's right. Everyone say it with me. It's the trans prostitute scene.
This movie did not age well.
No.
Now, in the theatrical cut of the film, we only saw the trans prostitute for a few seconds, but originally there was a whole awkward but kind of wholesome scene where Andy and the prostitute chat and then watch the 2003 Hulk movie together while eating ice cream. And you know, credit where it's due, Judd Apatow did cast an actual trans woman in the role. So as far as representation is concerned, it's kinda a win.
You got a Hummer from the tranny, didn't you?
Well, how do you know that she was a man?
Because her hands were as big as Andre the Giant's, and she had an Adam's apple as big as her balls.
Wow.
Oh no.
Hey, you know, aren't we owed one now? Because technically we paid her.
Get a dick, man.
I feel like this part's just gonna be cut a lot.
Yeah.
We're just like, all right.
Okay,
all right,
yeah.
Next.
You know what this movie needs right now? Some 21-year-old Jonah Hill.
Here comes the boy. Hello, boy. Welcome.
After the young Jonah Hill cameo, Andy calls Trish to ask her out on a date. Meanwhile, Cal and David are in the other room, getting high, playing Mortal Kombat on a Nintendo 64, and calling each other gay.
You're gay?
You're gay?
You're gay?
You're gay?
Oh, you're gay?
You're gay?
You're gay?
You're gay?
You know how I know you're gay?
How? How do you know I'm gay?
Before Cal and David can figure out who is gay, though, Andy comes back in and says Trish is coming over in an hour, which prompts the guys to somehow move every single thing in Andy's apartment into storage in less than 60 minutes.
Okay, I am
I don't think I
feeling
got that
violated right now.
What they did to his house?
Oh god.
How did they do that in an hour?
Look at your hand. You like him?
They were nice things.
They were nice things. They gave the apartment character.
I know.
Now he
They
looks
really
like a serial killer.
they
He
took
looks
the
like
whole
a
thing.
serial killer.
And then after a quick Benihana product placement, Andy and Trish go back to Trish's house to do some sex.
You really like kissing, don't you?
Yes.
Now Andy has to put a condom on, but unfortunately for him and his penis, nobody ever taught him how to do that.
Didn't teach you that? Yeah, someone should have taught you
I know
that.
all of his friends were trying to like set him up and they didn't cover this.
And give him porn, and it's like, no, teach him how to put a condom on.
Let's start with the basics.
Banana.
Right.
Before Andy can figure out how condoms work, he's interrupted by Trish's teenage daughter, played by a teenage Kat Denning.
I cannot believe that you're allowed to have sex, but I'm not. That is so
Now cut to the next morning, where we see Cal and David have somehow bent space and time again and moved everything back into Andy's apartment overnight. Also, Andy is still hard from the night before and accidentally pisses all over his own face.
Wait, what a gag.
What? That doesn't happen.
No.
Does it?
It does it? It does happen?
I mean, I'm sure they would know to push it down.
Yes.
Right. Like, I'm sure he saw it coming. Like,
And we
no
do
one
have
would do
control
that.
over our pee, right?
Yeah.
Right, but how is pee coming out if it is that, like, engorged?
Because he still has to pee.
It's not
So
Old
it's
Faithful.
either urine
not
or
Old
cum. They have a choice on what comes out.
I
didn't know.
don't have one.
I
I haven't
know.
studied them.
I haven't studied them either.
I'm not a dick scientist.
No, I think it's like the sea, like a jellyfish that, like eats and poops out of the same hole or something. It's kind of gross.
What is
There's some
happening
sea
right
organism that does that.
We're talking about jellyfish eating
Or
and
something.
pooping.
Like, if one hole for like pee and one hole for like cum, it feels, I mean, at least women
like a
have two
crowd.
holes, right?
Yeah, we do.
I mean, three if you
three.
include the butt, yeah. So it's more efficient.
What is happening right now?
I just
talking about holes.
Wrong movie. This movie we're only talking about nipples.
Then Andy goes to work, where he's met by his boss, offering to be his
buddy. What?
And if that wasn't enough of an HR violation, she starts talking about how she lost her virginity at 14 to a guy named Javier, and then she starts singing.
Cuando arreglan mi cuarto.
Oh, she's singing.
She was on Glee. I mean, please.
Yeah.
She got a
This
voice
is what got
This was her Glee audition right here.
Ryan Murphy saw this and said, hired.
Cuando arreglan mi cuarto. No encuentro nada. It's actually a dialogue from a level 2 Spanish class in high school. And it's not a romantic song at all. It's about a kid who won't clean his room. Donde va con tanta prisa al partido de fútbol?
Andy tells the guys what happened last night, and at this point they suggest he just come clean and admit to Trish he's a virgin. But before he can confess his deep, dark secret at dinner that night, Trish admits that she actually has 3 kids, and after a bit of back and forth, they decide to go on 20 dates before they have sex so they can get to know each other first.
Yes!
Music to his
Okay,
ears.
but why are we lying?
Because it's hard for him. And he's
Sure.
embarrassed.
But I don't know. You're just going to spend the whole time feeling like so anxious that you didn't tell her. It's just gonna be hanging above your head.
But it's hard, you know. I
Yeah.
feel his dilemma in there.
The two go back to Trish's house so they can get to first base and only first base, but they're interrupted by Trish's kids once again, which Andy uses as an opportunity to impress Trish by entertaining her youngest daughter.
Do you mind if I check behind your ear? Big money!
Where did he get that?
He just carries that on him. He doesn't carry a condom. He carries a giant quarter.
Magician makes sense for him.
And then after a quick Kevin Hart cameo, we get a montage of Andy and Trish doing cute asexual things together, like riding a tandem bicycle incorrectly and writing numbers on a calendar.
When he's not desperate about sex, he's actually
toys.
charming.
I know. Yeah. Unfortunately. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
As much as we wanted to hate, like.
After the cute asexual scenes are over, Trish offers to help Andy sell off some of his action figures on eBay, which is a moment that really upsets one of the asexuals.
Don't sell them. Don't sell them. She is the temptress. Take her away.
Nothing wrong with making a little bag.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you're a collector,
he has plenty.
No, but you
But
can
I
never
will-
know who he's
Going
Yeah,
into
but you don't
business
need
with
to-
your
This is
partner,
what
that's
happens
what
when
worries
you
me
date-
now, because now we're missing
Relationships
like,
ruin everything.
She could help him make a bag, but no, she's,
Yeah.
she's
You can make
oh,
some,
he's wishing them goodbye.
Oh no, he's sad too. I mean, Aquaman is kind of lame. So selling Aquaman, I'm okay with.
You were all like, wow, why is he throwing things away? And now you're
And
like,
now you're
Aquaman's
like,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I
Not the
know.
lame one. He could choke.
Andy goes over to Trish's house and finds her arguing with her daughter because she thinks her daughter is too young to start birth control, which, considering that she's a single mom who had her first kid when she was a teenager, makes absolutely no sense at all.
I don't want you to make the same mistakes as me, Marla. Oh, mistakes. Okay, so I was a mistake then. Oh, you're not a mistake. Your sister was the mistake.
Oh no, you
She
don't
did
say that.
it. You see, now I don't want you to get laid by Andy.
Oh.
You don't deserve him.
No.
You don't deserve him.
So as the only intelligent character in the movie, Andy offers to take her to the sex health clinic himself so she can at least get some information about birth control.
You know, little information never hurt anybody.
Yes.
Right.
He's ahead of his time sometimes.
Yes.
Yo, God, I love him.
At the clinic, Andy and teenage Kat Denning sit down for a question and answer session with Steve Carell's wife, Nancy Carell, aka Carol from The Office. Also in the room is David Koechner, aka Todd Packer from The Office, Cedric Yarborough, aka Deputy Jones from Reno 911, and Jeff Kahn, aka... the supervising producer of Dilbert the Animated Series?
Dilbert, come here. I want to show you something. It's called
The sex health clinic scene from the 40-year-old virgin.
Take a click.
I tapped that.
Yeah, you tap that. Seth, what, you think you're cool with your little Jufro?
Do you have any extra large condoms? Oh, Seth, you got a tiny penis.
Now cut to the next day where we find Jay using the store's entire TV display to
That's my baby's dick right there.
That is his foot.
Look at his dick. That's not even 4 months.
What are we doing here?
And why is it on video?
At work.
You're just trying to buy like a camcorder, and they're like, actually,
Look at this baby's
Like, hold up, we're sexualizing a fetus real quick.
Everybody's dick looks big on 16-inch TV. My sister's dick looks big on TV.
After work, Andy and Trish are working on selling action figures on eBay when Trish hits him with some hard news.
You know what tonight is? It's our 20th date.
Oh, God, please, no! 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 No!
There's a genuinely sweet moment here where Trish says she's serious about him, but this quickly turns into an asexual horror scene where she tries to have sex with him on top of his extremely valuable action figures that they're actively trying to sell.
No, not the action. They're losing value. You're not gonna make $100,000
Right?
like
Right.
that.
Oh my God, that box is damaged. Her ass damaged the box.
Once the integrity of the box gets compromised...
Thank you, finally.
This is Iron Man, okay?
Upset and sexually frustrated, Trish kicks Andy out of the house. Now cut to later that night, and Andy is getting stupid drunk at Jay's baby shower.
I need some poon.
Oh, come on. You don't.
I need genital to genital connection, and that's all I need.
Cedric, points win, baby.
You're drunk, Andy. Go home.
Now plastered and determined to lose his virginity, Andy runs into Elizabeth Banks again, and they start hitting on each other.
Hope you have a big trunk, because I'm putting my bike in it.
Also, remember the waxing scene?
Yeah! Yeah. Oh, right.
Oh, there it is.
And it's still super smooth.
How is there? There's
They
not
probably
like
kept waxing those parts.
There's not any stubble, but it's been at least a month because they did the whole calendar
His
thing.
nipples look weird. May I just say that?
All nipples are weird.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, they
nipples
are,
weird.
aren't they?
That's okay.
Wow. That came out fast. Ow! Wow!
Okay, I just found that a little bit erotic. No, I just like dominance.
Oh,
Disciplinary. God, I hope that never makes it to the public view. If my daughter sees this, I will end my life. No, I mean she probably will not be too surprised.
Right.
Indian mom, discipline. Never mind.
So then Elizabeth Banks gets in the bathtub and grabs the detachable shower head and... By the way, fun fact, did you guys see the fish tank in the previous scene? Apparently the credits were not allowed to say no animals were harmed in the making of this movie because someone turned the fish tank off and all the fish died. So yeah, that's a fun fact.
I kind of want that wallpaper.
Right? Yeah, me too. Feels soothing.
It is. Feels like you should not be having sex in that room. Though.
No.
Right.
Andy gets real uncomfortable and turns around to leave, only to find the guys were standing right behind him the whole time. Turns out they followed him from the bar to convince him to go back to Trish, but he doesn't need them because...
That woman scares the shit out of me, and I just want to go home.
So they all leave except Cal, who... I guess swaps in for Andy.
That is too shaggy of a rug for
He
a
gonna
bathroom.
scare the hell out of her.
What is that bathroom rug?
Right? It's
too much going on in that house apartment.
Andy comes home to find Trish in his apartment looking through the porn stash David left behind earlier.
What are you, some kind of sex pervert? Are you a deviant or something?
No, I'm not.
Dude, if anyone looked at my Google history, they would think that's what I am. But sometimes I'm just researching for comedy.
Trish gets freaked out and runs out of the apartment. Then there's a big chase scene set to the hit 1982 rock song Heat of the Moment by Asia that ends with... And while splayed out on the pavement, Andy finally admits to Trish that he's a virgin.
Are you okay?
No, I'm not okay.
I'm
a virgin.
concussed.
No,
Don't shake my head so much. I could have an injury in my spinal cord.
Trish tells him that she doesn't mind that he's a virgin and confesses her love for him. And after a cute little marriage scene, the movie ends with Andy and Trish finally having sex. But naturally, instead of a regular sex scene, Judd Apatow chose to have Steve Carell do a choreographed song and dance routine to Age of Aquarius from the musical Hair. Playing that song would get me demonetized for sure though, so instead I'm just gonna swap it with a meme song.
My bitch get it funky now. Every time he hit this pussy up in doggy style. My bitch get it funky now. Every time he hit this pussy up in doggy style. Yelling out. Swallow it, come make me.
We did it.
Woo, he got laid. For 1 minute.
Let's love up to make a single star in the sky.
So that was The 40-Year-Old Virgin, and again, I think it's a pretty good comedy. There's a few poorly aged jokes in there, but like, whatever, it was 2005. The year of the gamer.
I think he's probably Demi, but I'm always like, I'm a little bit uncomfortable putting a label on someone that doesn't put the label on themselves.
Yeah.
And I think especially because like clearly Judd Apatow is not being like, I'm going to write an asexual narrative.
No.
But like watching back, certainly it feels like very, very demisexual to me personally.
The clues were there.
He definitely added an element of humanity to the character and his portrayal.
Yeah.
So that was respectful given the handful of very inappropriate jokes at the time.
Yes.
Yeah, some shit's aged poorly, some it's like, oh, that's actually
Some
cute.
of them
Some was ahead of his time.
Right.
Some was ahead of his time.
Yeah.
Right.
But also, they always, even within the community, even within the larger queer community, asexuality a lot of times is seen as a flaw, or like you don't belong. I've had a lot of intimate moments with people that I have never, had sex with.
Naked.
And you don't need to.
True.
And that is one thing I don't like about this movie, is they seem to think in a way that it is a flaw.
Yeah, just because you're not having sex, it's a flaw.
Yeah. Even for like, femme folks, it's hard to know because no one talks about it.
Yeah.
I have to imagine with men it's so much harder.
And you think something's wrong with you. You
Yeah.
think
Probably
you're
more
flawed.
so, yeah.
You're like, why don't I want to have sex? Why am I
Right.
attracted to this person but I don't want to have sex with them? Because society is so over-sexualized that person they like is probably like, if you like me, you're gonna want to have sex with me. So when they don't, they're like, something's wrong with me. I like this person, they like me, but I don't want to have sex. But they it's not talked about. It's very taboo. And if they express that to their friends are gonna call them gay. It's like, hey, you want to know how I know you're gay?
Yeah, this movie,
Because you talk about
those
asexual.
40-year-olds were all like middle school kids, okay, pressuring, that's still there. That is still
Not that
there.
you should ever be pressured into sex, but sometimes people find themselves sexually when they find that spark. Sometimes that is some people's case. So maybe that was just his.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know they weren't considering all this in 2005, but
no, not at
that's
all.
my hot take.
I am Evasive. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you again to Scentbird for the sponsorship. Please check out their links below. And if you want to see the full recording of the Asexuals watching the 40-year-old virgin, I will have that up on my Patreon, link in the description below. And as always, please let me know in the comments what other movies you want me to force people to watch next. And now if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go do something cool, like have sex, crazy sex. Definitely not going to make myself a bowl of popcorn and watch the cult classic Judd Apatow produced comedy Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox Story for the 5th time. Definitely not gonna do that. Definitely gonna go do some sex. That's definitely what I'm gonna go do right now. So... Special thank you to my highest tier patrons, Alexis Angiano, Andrea Morton, Andrew Coro, Andrew C., Aurora Borealis, Big Bandy, Bob the Pinecone, Brandon Crane, Bruno, Caleb Fortner, Carlton Barzon, Doc Davis, Dylan Zahner, Fuzzy Numbers, Garrett Abelin, Jane Elwood Strawberry, Kit, Lucas Probably, Mick LeClaire, Neurodivergers, Pigeon Rose, Pooh Bear Thought, and Zoe B.